Hello, I'm Snowy. Let's get started. Hello and welcome to the 7th episode of Beat Saber Replay Analysis. My name is Snowy, and over the past month or so, I've gone through all 120 of your submissions, and I've picked out the ones which I think best represent the most common issues of the community. I've got a lot to say, so without further ado, let's watch some replays. Just a small disclaimer, all tips provided in this video are based off of my own personal experience and the experiences of some others in the community. I can't fix your problems with just tips and tricks videos, but I can hopefully help you to think critically about your play and how you can improve it. The first replay I have was submitted by a Canadian player named Meow. Meow plays with Oculus Quest 2 controllers and is ranked number 383 on ScoreSaber. Meow says that their weakness is their accuracy, and their strength is their reading. What I'm going to do is play a clip of the submission and then break it down afterwards. Let's get into it.
As you can see, I'm a fucking weeb degenerate, but that doesn't mean I can't celebrate Halloween like that. I got my own ways to celebrate, but yeah, look at that. It's fucking Jason Voorhees. That's a fucking
So the main problem that I found in Meow's gameplay is that they have trouble with control. The most fundamental part of scoring in Beat Saber is being able to control your sabers so that they move where you want them to go. One of the worst things that happens when you can't control your sabers is that you bad cut because your saber accidentally moves into a note you didn't want it to. Right here, you can see Meow loses control of his right saber, causing it to just barely swipe some notes and bad cut as well. So now I'm going to talk about some of the things you guys could do to fix this problem in your own play. In the background, we'll play a clip from a player named DatDerpDude who also had this same problem. He said that he has trouble missing very simple notes, and from what I saw, I think saber control might be his issue. So there are 3 things that I could think of to solve this problem. Number 1 is swing optimization. The best players in Beat Saber optimize their use of arm and wrist. You have to strike a balance. If you find yourself getting tired really quickly, you're probably using too much arm. Using more wrists in your gameplay could solve the stamina issue and fix your swings as well. You can tell if you're using too much arm because the hilt of your saber moves a lot positionally in the replay. Here's an example from a clip submitted by the player Gay Jade, who uses too much arm when swinging.
Stop to the club, go club to the club, go to the club, go to the go. Don't stop to the club, go club to the club, go to the club, go silent. Don't stop to the club, go club to the club, go to the club, go. Don't stop to the club, go to the club to the club, go.
On the contrary, if you're using too much wrist, you might overswing, bad cut, and your swings might appear a little floppy. Disclaimer that if you play on Quest Link, there's an inherent amount of floppiness that comes from the delay in Quest Link, so that effect is going to be visible in your replays regardless. But here's a clip from a player named Avalon that demonstrates this a little bit. Avalon says that he has trouble with ship misses and swinging straight. I think that utilizing more arm could help him swing straighter and get higher accuracy on easy notes. It's best to strike a balance between arm and wrist usage so that you mostly use your arm to position your saber and then you mostly use your wrist to actually execute the swing. The second thing you could fix is reading. You also might lose control of your sabers if you can't read the map. Not reading can cause people to flail around and lose control of their sabers. The best solutions for this are as follows. Number 1, use smaller notes with the custom notes mod. Number 2, change your jump distance using NJS Fixer or the built-in note jump offset dropdown in the player settings. Number 3, turn on static lights. Number 4, turn off screen distortion effects. And number 5, make your note colors contrast highly. The goal of all of these steps is to increase your visibility so that maps are easier to read. And the third thing you could fix is your grip. This is certainly the most drastic solution, and I don't recommend changing your grip all the time, but if you find that your hand is slipping off your controller mid-play, or you can't properly keep control of the controller, you might try changing your grip, purchasing a grip strengthener, or applying grip tape to your controllers. All of these solutions have been employed by different members of the community at different points in time. Lastly, this is just some advice for the general community, but I think that one reason why lots of people have trouble with losing control of their sabers is because they play maps that are too hard for them. Beat Saber is a super easy game to play, but it's very difficult to master. That means that even though you might be able to pass a map, it doesn't always mean that you should. If you want to improve in a general sense, play maps that have the following qualities. Number 1, you can almost read them, meaning they're just barely too fast for you. Number 2, you can fully swing almost all the notes. And number 3, you can focus on where your saber is going and have control over the saber's direction. Alright, that's about it for control, so let's move on to some more submissions. The next submission comes from a Polish player named Limer. Or Lemur, I'm sorry if I messed that up. Limer plays using Oculus Rift S or Quest controllers and is ranked 1,562 on Score Saber. Limer says that they have trouble with their wrists locking up on songs, causing them to swing like a T-Rex. So let's see what they're talking about. I'm gonna have to agree with Limer here. Their arms do look very T-Rex-like. I talked a little bit about this in BSRA episode 4, but I'm gonna go a little bit more in depth on some things. So when you rotate your wrist, the forearm muscle contracts and extends. When you swing with arm, what you're actually doing is giving your forearms a break and swinging with your elbows and shoulders instead. So the problem is that you're overexerting your forearms. You can either make your forearms stronger by playing a lot of speed maps, which is a very valid option, or you could lighten the load on your forearms by doing one of the following. Number 1 is don't put effort into swinging at notes that don't require effort. The best example of this is Ptotpa. Players on Valve Index usually learn to do this really well because it's very hard to play speed maps with heavy controllers unless you optimize. Ptotpa is the absolute champion of optimized swings. Just look at this clip. So by saving your energy early on, you'll have the stamina to go nuts when you need to. Also, remember what I said earlier. Use mostly arm to position your saber, and then use mostly wrist to actually execute the swing. The second way you can lighten the load on your forearms is by raising yourself up through adjustment of the manual height setting in the player settings to make the notes lower, so you don't have to hold your arms as high, therefore reducing the amount of effort you expend. Check BSRA episode 4 for more info. But another strategy that I've seen is to actually lower your height settings so the blocks are a little bit higher relative to you, and then use a ton of risk to flick your controllers upwards into the blocks. So essentially you flick your controller upward and then you just let gravity pull your controller down. So for example, I'm 1.8 meters tall and I play at 2.0 meters in game because of this strategy. The key part is that you don't hold your arms too high. You always want your arms to be generally around the height of your stomach. So once again, disclaimer, this might not work for you, but it's something to try nonetheless. Last but not least, I figured I'd end this video on a high note. If you submitted a video for BSRA before May 20th, I wrote you some comments in a Google Doc. So all 120 or so people who submitted will get a few comments. Hopefully they're valuable. So go to the Google Doc in the description and search for your Discord tag that you used when you filled out the form. Alright, so that's about it. If you guys enjoyed the episode, remember to like and subscribe for more content. Also, if you have any feedback for these types of episodes, you can leave them in the comments below or shoot me a DM on Discord at SSnowy1549. Remember to go submit replays to the BSRA submission form in the Cube Community Discord if you want help on how to improve at the game. Also, go to the new BSRA submissions channel to see some updated rules for video submissions. All of the videos that have been submitted before are still candidates for future episodes. So if your video wasn't featured, don't worry. But if you submitted a video that didn't follow one of the rules, it's very unlikely that I'm going to choose it, so you might want to submit again. Once again, my name is Snowy, and thanks for watching. My name is Snowy, and over the past month or so, I've gone through all 120 of your submissions, and I've picked out the ones which I think represent the most common. Fuck, dude. The second way you can. What am I doing with my hands? Like. Glad that's over.